Can-Am Rising Strong Style. I am your host, the voice of Rising, Steve Sorensen, and I'm joined as always by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jacob Elwood.
And we are in for a great one tonight as Brett B is going to take on Tyson Dukes, former Can-Am Border City Wrestling heavyweight champion, Tyson Dukes. He might be the longest reigning champion in the history of the company. Do you not agree?
I believe he was, but look at this. Tyson Dukes now telling Bolin to go to the back. I think he wants to do this one-on-one. This, as much as this is Syndicate business, he wants to prove that against a talent like Brent Banks, he can take him out one-on-one.
Well, you know, it's always a good idea to have somebody watching your back out there, but Tyson Dukes is good enough. He doesn't need the help of the masterful John Bolin, and I think he's planning on dispatching of Banks rather quickly here tonight.
I gotta say, as much as I'm not a fan of the Syndicate, I think this is a bad idea on the Cyborg's part. Brent Banks is not someone to be trifled with, so any help he could get, he might need. Bit of a new look for Brent Banks. No more shorts or basketball gear. He's got his own look, and that's actually quite some stylish coloring.
Well, it's about time he changed it up here, looking more like a wrestler, like he actually came to do this sport and not some other jabroni sport that nobody really cares about.
Hockey?
Sure, that's
baseball? Football?
Well, you know, carrying on the tradition of the goon.
And good night to Bolin. Tyson Dukes and Brent Banks, here we go.
You know, you had the goon and knuckleball Schwartz. What would you call a basketball player?
Fowley McFowlerson?
Dribbles? Back to the match at hand. Lock up here in the middle as Brent Banks working the arm of the Cyborg.
Now, this is a smart idea, in essence, on Brent's part to try and tie up Tyson's arm, but the Cyborg is not someone you want to go move for move with. I think Brent's letting his pride show a little bit too much here, trying to tangle on the mat with Tyson Dukes.
Well, you forget this man used to be called textbook Tyson Dukes, and that's for a reason. Years, well over a decade of experience with Tyson Dukes, and he's not going to fall for anything that Brent Banks is going to try to pull on him here. He's, in fact, taking him to school right now on the mat.
It's actually 17 years in the business now for the Cyborg, which is almost unbelievable. He started when he was, what, 10 years old then?
He's been everywhere. He's been all over the U.S., all over Canada, Japan, TNA, WWE. This man is well-traveled, and he's about to show Brent Banks exactly what he's been doing all these years.
Brent Banks, no slouch, one of the biggest rising stars in all of professional wrestling. Not Canada, not Ontario, but all over the world. This guy is going to be all over your television screen in the coming years.
And let's not forget, Tyson Dukes has become way more aggressive since joining the Syndicate. And you see that ruthlessness coming out now.
Brent sizing him up, trying for the cover. Neither one of these two willing to give an inch. This is going to be glorious.
And the crowd showing appreciation for both men here as this is going to be, this has got the makings of a mat classic. I underestimated Brent Banks. He looks like he's going to hold up pretty well against Tyson Dukes.
Tyson looked hurt. Didn't think Brent was going to be able to hang with him. You can tell this is a bit of a feeling out process, and Tyson getting a little bit aggressive, and here it comes. I don't think he took too kindly to Brent trying to hang with him in the middle of that ring.
Well, now it's time to stop playing with him and start beating on him.
And Brent with a beautiful drop kick. Signature Brent Banks here.
Count your teeth, Tyson. Goes for the pin, only getting two.
Well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that Tyson couldn't count his teeth, Jacob, so that wouldn't really be playing to his strengths, now would it?
He's got an abacus in his pocket.
Brent Banks now being the aggressor. Taking him into the corner.
Oh, the kids, what's an abacus? It's a calculator. It's not on your phone.
Jacob, maybe you should worry a little bit less about those kids, especially how many of them are yours, and a little more about this match. Brent Banks slips to the outside and a kick to the face.
Well, it's possible he might be one of mine, too. Brent going to the top. Drop kick on the Cyborg.
Well, you did spend a lot of time in the cooler side of Toronto at most times when you went for concerts, so that wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, didn't I meet you on Church Street?
It was college, actually, but close enough. And Brent going to the outside. Tyson tying him up in the ring apron.
Brilliant move by the Cyborg as Brent B is now helpless and just taking a beat on the outside. Not a thing the ref can do about it.
I don't know if there's much Brent can do about it either. Still tied up in the ring apron, stuck with his arm hanging out. Bit of a, what the kids call it, a douchey move on Tyson's part.
He was just making him one with the ring.
Tyson back in the ring, staying right on top of Brent Banks. This is where you really see Tyson doing his damage. He's very methodical. He's not going to miss a beat here, taking and choosing his spots wisely. Maybe paying a little too much attention to this crowd, though.
The crowd loves to give the business to the Cyborg here in Windsor, Ontario.
Oh! Brent Banks, short fall, bad landing.
And you know, I don't understand the crowd's reaction to the Cyborg. He's been a champion for years here.
Brutal suplex in the corner. Look at this replay once again, driving Brent into the turnbuckles.
He's been a champion for years. He's proudly represented this company. And now that he's a member of a top-notch group called the Syndicate, what is there not to like about this guy? What does he have to do to earn the respect of the crowd here?
Jacob, you confuse pride with conceit. There's a fine line between the two, and Tyson crossed that a very long time ago.
Don't be jealous.
You have a donut?
That's what the kids say, right?
Wouldn't know. I may listen to their terrible music, but I don't listen to the terrible children.
Hashtag WTF.
And now we're going shot for shot, chop for chop, and Tyson coming out on the better end of that. I think Brent might have shown his inexperience there. As long as he's been around, it's still not even half the time that Tyson's been. You do not want to go chop fights with Tyson Dukes. You will not win that. Believe me, I've tried a couple times.
That explains why your chest looks a little caved in this week.
Why are you staring at my chest?
Why wouldn't you?
And back to the match. Brent Banks a little worse from wear on the end of that exchange. And now Tyson showing a little bit of his newfound skill, kick to the back. This man has a lot of different well-versed training. He trains with boxing, jiu-jitsu coaches. He watches as much tape as humanly possible. And when he's not busy watching tape, he's apparently out there chopping redwoods, because look at the marks on those on the chest of Brent Banks.
The man is dedicated to his craft. He's got no time for nonsense. He's got no time for partying. He's got no time for the ladies. He's got no time for anything else. He's constantly trying to improve himself to get to the top of his game in this profession, and damn it if he hasn't done that.
Now, are you sure that's the case, or? Because he's the wheelchair right here, smiling, laughing at Tyson.
Well, who do you think put him in the wheelchair?
That is horribly accurate by you, Jacob. I cannot believe that you found that out. There's a reason we call him the damn Tyson Dukes.
Well, to be fair, he did take a selfie with him before the show. He gives back.
Now Tyson with a suplex on the floor. He wants to get to the pay window and
A win is a win, sir.
Brent struggling valiantly to get back in the ring. It's going to take a lot more to keep a young man like him down.
Well, let's throw him back in the apron and get some duct tape.
Tyson staying right on top of Brent. Oh, and a belly-to-back suplex.
And that's got to be it. Cover here.
Brent Banks kicking out. But Tyson holding onto the leg, putting him into a single leg grab. Shades of his hero, Lance Storm.
And that's what you got to do. You got to stay on him. If the pin don't work, go for the submission. Do it right away, quick. Look at this now.
Floating over into an STF. Brent Banks, he's got to get to the ropes or he is going to be out of commission.
The devastation comes in succession here. Brent Banks is going to have no choice but to tap out here.
And now Tyson with the move we cannot name. Brent rolling him up for the cover, too. Oh, almost a 3 count. And now into a small package again. 1, 2, let's go. Oh, Tyson slides out the back door. Now, I heard that small package, that was actually named after you for your nickname in high school, Jacob.
Well, I give him a lot of credit for actually inflating it. It was micro package. Back and forth the shots here with Brent B.
So are you saying now if you were managing Tyson Dukes, the Cyborg, that your name would be the Micro Machine?
From the loop. Vicious kick by Brent B. And Tyson Dukes is down on his knees.
And a clothesline taking Brent Banks right out of his... Somebody in the third row catch his head. Watch this clothesline. Brent Banks is done.
Vicious by Dukes.
Tyson here if he can't get this cover.
Now I heard if neither one of them gets up, the pay goes to the announcers. Is that correct?
Stay down, both of you.
You're on me, sir.
Damn it, Brent Banks is up, and Tyson's up too. Wish I would have known about this sooner.
Oh! Get your cookie bonuses out the window. It's a vicious shot by Banks. He's trying to rock Dukes now. Vicious left hands. Now whipping him into the corner. No reversal by Banks off the rope.
And this is exactly playing to Brent Banks' strengths. The high-flying speed, flipping, spinning, diving elbow to the jaw. This could spell trouble for Tyson. If Brent's able to hit a dive, this could end his night. And, suicide dive through the ropes, driving Tyson into the guardrail.
Can Banks capitalize here? Firing Tyson in the ring. Is this enough for a 3 count? He's going up top.
Now this, for most people, this is high risk, but this is where Brent lives, the top shelf. And a corkscrew diving cross body almost gets the 3 count. Brent can't believe it. Watch this one more time, folks.
What a maneuver.
The athleticism of Brent Banks almost paying off there. If Brent could pull off what would honestly be a huge upset, taking out the Cyborg Tyson Dukes, he would be in for his biggest payday of his life.
Well, you got to think that's going to put him in line for the championship down the road. Brent Banks, Phil Atlas, I would love to see that.
Well, these two men definitely in the top 5 of challengers for that heavyweight championship. Tyson Dukes sliding Brent Banks outside the ring. And a dirty chop to the chest. Brent Banks will be feeling that for months. And now Tyson jumping to the outside of the ring. Oh, this is definitely, we are in the danger zone for both of these two. Forearm shots back and forth.
Something's got to give here between these two. One of them's going out.
Clotheslines him back into the ring.
I stand corrected.
The Cyborg, always something different up his sleeve, but he should quit playing to the crowd and get into the ring. Brent Banks should not be trifled with.
Time for the Cyborg to put him away. What is he going for here? Drags him back outside to the apron. Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Tyson, this is... No, you cannot do this. Brent Banks. Sliced bread onto the apron. God. If this is where you've got it, kid, this is where you get the...
But how much did that take out of Brent Banks? Can he drag Dukes back into the ring?
There it is, slide in now, and you've got him. This is the end for Tyson Dukes.
We could be seeing the upset, probably the biggest upset in Can-Am Rising history here.
Oh, and Brent Banks, big mistake not going for the cover, instead climbing to the top rope, and it cost him. He gave Tyson way too much time to recover. The man is the Cyborg for a reason. And now climbing up to the top. Possible superplex coming here from the Cyborg.
God, look at this.
Oh, a delayed.
The end is near.
Oh, delayed vertical suplex from the top rope. This has got to be the end of Brent Banks.
The power it must take to accomplish that feat. Oh my God, Fish is beating in the corner now.
And now Tyson grabbing him, going for a DVD, but Brent Banks slips out the back and slice bread number 2. There it is. That's it, folks. 2. That's got to be. It's not over. Tyson Dukes the shoulder up.
So close. Where did Banks get the strength for that?
You see here that slice bread number 2, nailing Dukes, but just not enough to keep him down. What is it going to take for Brent Banks to defeat the Cyborg tonight?
Going to the well one more time on the top rope. Can he finish it this time? Oh my God!
Tyson cutting him off with a European uppercut. That kid may have went to the well one too many times.
Good night, Brent Banks. It is over. Put him away, Cyborg.
And Tyson going for possibly a brainbuster, but Brent Banks with the quick reversal, and oh, just not enough.
This kid will not stay down.
Oh, going for a lion salt. Tyson Dukes tying him up. No, Brent Banks just enough to kick out. This, folks, is an epic encounter. These two will not say die. Tyson maybe showing a little frustration, going for a backslide. And now Brent with a quick sunset flip. Tyson tying him up into a crucifix by Banks. Nothing for either one. And now Dukes just lighting him up with forearms. Brent into a victory roll. That could do it.
I don't believe it.
Brent Banks with the victory.
Huge upset tonight.
And the biggest victory of his career now, Brent Banks victorious over Tyson Dukes. You can see even he can't believe it.
I am in utter shock here. What kind of repercussions are going to happen now from the Syndicate after this?
Well, you know that their leader, Scott D'Amore, will not be happy, but thank you for showing up for tonight's episode of Strong Style. Good night, folks.